welcome Dr. Boshielo, SP, Honorable Deputy Minister of Police. The first speaker after the break, I said, is Honorable Sangon. 31 minutes after 15 hours, 51 minutes after 15 hours, your time expires.
Thank you.
The clock starts now.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Let me greet you again, Deputy Minister. Deputy Minister, this committee has spent a lot of time on this issue of deputy ministers. I'm not sure its relevance to our terms of reference, but I want to come back to it. DM, I'm going to speak about things that are in my knowledge, that I know them for a fact, and then just ask you some questions afterwards. So in the portfolio committees that we oversee, for example, part of the presidency, I know that DM Hlauli, she is delegated Operation Vulindlela, the Presidential Youth Employment Initiative and Stats SA. Deputy Minister Morolong is delegated the GCIS Brand South African MDDA. In international relations, Deputy Minister Moraga, she is allocated Africa and the Middle East. And Deputy Minister Bottas is allocated South America and Australasia. Now, in your opinion, DM, do you think that these functions that are delegated to these deputy ministers are important?
Thank you very much, Honorable Songoni. Yes, it is very important, like I said before, when I explain what our rules are. And I want to also say to you, the characters might not be the same. I'm just saying this for the record. So it does not mean that if DM Matali were not able to articulate some of the things, he's not doing anything. And that we're not working as a team with the minister. The three of us, actually they were calling us the triplets because most of the two were doing together. So we must not have an impression that DM Matali, because he did not answer the question what he do every day when he wake up, and the minister were not working together, or DM Matal is not. And then with the cartoons that are going there, and that is a ghost worker and not earning his salary. Thank you very much. As I said, honorable member, it's in terms of the constitution. And as I said also, other deputy ministers, they have, it's not this ones, they have the delegations. I think you reached a place where you sit down and discuss this issue and be comfortable with each other, and then the strength. Like I'm giving my own example that the minister saw my doctorate on technology and then just gave me the technology for me to go and address the international platform on technology, because I knew what I was all about. So they have the delegation, and it is important for them to do that. As I explained to you, subs is not subs only.
Wait, I'm coming to that, DM.
All right.
So while you have this problem of not being delegated, and maybe some other deputy ministers, it's not across the board that not everybody has delegations, okay?
Oh.
And I know that's correct, because also in our portfolio committee, DM Gungubele is delegated artificial intelligence, cybersecurity, digital skills, commitments on the African continent, the post office, the post bank, NEMISA, the film publication board, and .ZEDNA. Now, his Minister Maladzi, looks after the department, the SABC, Centec, Broadband Infraco, ICASA, CETA, USASA, Telcom, and then the rest of the sector. Now, do you think that Minister Maladzi could do all of this alone, still do cabinet committees, still do international engagements if he didn't have a deputy minister?
Never. Let's be honest, honorable member. You will never have. Actually, I'm scared when you spoke about all those responsibilities, because we're going into the digital stage where South Africa must be able to catch up. We are behind. So if the two of them have to do it, honestly, I don't think they will be able to do justice to it. I thought maybe they must have another DM, but it's not up to me. It's the minister's one. So, yeah, that will be my response.
So DM are not useless?
Are very, very useful. It's just that people would want to portray DMs as being useless, because they ask one DM what you do when you wake up and could not give an answer. Then they said, then you see, and the chair did not even protect us when they even call us small fishes. That's why I am upfront even saying I'm not a small fish, I'm a tadpole. But my qualifications really talk for me and what I do. Thank
Very
you.
educated tadpole. I apologize. Deputy Minister, so on the issue of working together, and I want to come to this thing that all of you are just fluffing about, you have no coordination, no vision. Am I correct that you have the National Development Plan, you have the medium-term framework, you have the strategic plan of the department, and you also have the strategy that you raised here of the integrated violence? Now, are you not all working together in fulfillment of that vision in a coordinated manner, DM?
Yes, I just want to be specific also to show you in my what I said about it. We work as a team, like you're saying. I said is here that SAPS consists of SAPS, DPCI, which is the Hawks, and the 3 entities. And as a result, sometimes I will deal with the Civilian Secretariat or CIRA, or IPIT, the minister deal with the SAPS, and then DM Matali will deal with DCIP and what. So that is why I even said when we go to portfolios or anywhere, we together with the National Commissioner and his team would come together and prepare together on that one. And then what we present to the committees, the standing committee, is a joint effort of all of us and the same understanding. So this issue that because we have this particular problem that we're dealing with, we are not working together and people are not working, the minister was what, and then we might not be articulate like all of us, and that's what we supplement each other in terms of the leadership. I might be able to articulate, dear Matali might not be able to articulate, but it doesn't mean he's just a ghost and not doing anything. I don't think it's really, really fair. Thank you very much, Honorable Member.
Thanks, Arnold. I want to come to this issue of ghosts. Ne? So there's an impression that's created here that you sit in meetings all the time, and that means that you are not working. You heard that, right? Okay.
Yes,
so do you think that it is correct, for example, to say Honorable Shongwe, who's sitting in meetings in the morning until late in this ad-hoc committee for 3 months, is it fair to say that Honorable Shongwe is not working?
That's what the Honorable Member wanted to say, because I was fair enough to say I serve in the JCPS cluster. I serve in the economic sector investment and employment and infrastructure development committee and all joints. I'm also the champion of the DDM in Kangala and all other things. And if you don't call this work, it's something else. But also, as part of this, we come to the portfolio committee. As I said, it's 5 divisions. So you present 5 annual reports, 5 strategic plans, 5 APPs, 5 quarterly reports, and all those kind of things. And you can just understand how many meetings we had. So our chairperson, fortunately, is in this committee. He'll be able to explain that there was never a time where we did not come and present, as requested by the Constitution, that we must be accountable to Parliament. So you can't say sitting in portfolio committees we are not working. We are ghost workers. That is why I wanted to clarify it, and I think it is unfair, and I thought the chair would have protected dear Matali on that one. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable Sangweni, just a second. Please replace Honorable Shongo with Honorable Khanyan and say, the chair who sits here the whole day, is it fair to say he's not working? Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. I'll actually replace Honorable Shongwe with members of Parliament. Thank you, Chair. Chairperson, Honorable Dear, my last question on this matter, and you heard that you were told that you can choose to say that you won't respond, they must ask the relevant person, but I'm asking your opinion. Do you think, in your opinion, Honorable Deputy Minister, that when Mr. Zuma, who's the president of the MK, appoints deputy presidents in his party, do you think he consults his members and says, no, maybe take this one, leave this one?
On a point of order, Chair? Yes. Chair, you have established a norm here through a point of order which has been raised by Honorable Sangoni. You sustained it. She said it's unfair to ask from witnesses questions to which they do not have answers, because such questions must be asked from the relevant people who made such decisions. And you correctly sustained the order by saying it was unfair for Honorable Shongwe to ask the witness the question he was asking. So the same member, Chair, who made that order, who raised that order, again is falling on the same trap. So we're just appealing for consistency, nothing else.
Thank you, Honorable Nomvalo. You heard me correctly, and I'm happy that you say the order was correctly sustained, and this order is equally correctly sustained.
Thank you. No, I thought you had a counter, but thank you. If it's sustained, Chair, I will withdraw the question about whether Mr. Zuma consults his party members when appointing deputy presidents. But then, so would you think that the question that was asked to you about whether President Ramaphosa should have asked you that no, take from one of us, was that a fair question?
It was unfair because in terms of the Constitution, which I think all of us should be our Bible as lawmakers, is that it gives the president the power to appoint cabinet members and deputy ministers among the members in the National Assembly, but also goes further to say he can appoint 2 ministers, not more than 2 ministers, and not more than 2 deputy ministers from outside the National Assembly. I thought we are lawmakers, they are obvious to do. So they give him that power. So that's why I said, I can go and say, why do you not appoint me on this one? And also the other thing I want to clarify, members or deputy ministers, in terms of the Constitution that I'm talking about, deputy ministers can't act as ministers. Only a cabinet minister can act as ministers. That's in the Constitution. So if you want to make deputy ministers to act as ministers, you are lawmakers, you can change the Constitution. But in terms of the Constitution, deputy ministers can act as ministers. That is why they have to bring another minister who's Minister Mantashe to assist in this regard.
Thank you, Chairperson. I have no further questions. Thank you, Honorable Deputy Minister.
Very much, Honorable Member.
Thank you so much. The next speaker is Honorable Skosana. 15:44. Your time ends at 5 minutes past 16 hours.
Thank you, Chair, and good afternoon to the Deputy Minister.
Afternoon.
The good thing, Chair, is that I sit in the committee of the Police Portfolio Committee. As I said once again, that I was not parachuted. At least I know the things which are happening in that department. Now, I'm going to start by saying there's internal systems which were not followed by the minister. It's a fact. That the issue of the delegations which were not given to our 2 deputy ministers is a fact. I'm not sure whether the deputy minister agree with me with that. That the fact of the matter is that the minister failed to delegate powers to you and Deputy Minister Matali. It's a fact, am I right? Now we know, South Africans knows now that you had no delegation.
Yes, we don't have any delegation.
Yes.
It's a fact.
Now, the new minister has done so within two months, am I right?
You are right.
Now, I don't think that someone has said that you were not working. The issue, of course, the issue and that. The fact of the matter is that, as we agree now, that you were not given any task. Besides that, I said to the deputy Matale that you were moonlighting. You'll find there's nurses here. By profession, they are nurses, but they have been called at Velges, the other time, Jacaranda, because they are nurses by profession. Now, I understand, we are in politics as well, that sometimes Honorable Sangoni, sometimes, now invoked other departments that this one works, you went that. It is unnecessary. There we are talking about the police here. Nothing else. We've got two deputy ministers, Honorable Sangoni, which are witnesses. We don't have communications. We don't have any other department before us. Those will account at the portfolio committee where they belong. Now, let's start now at Deputy Minister, because we work well in the department.
Address the chair.
Oh, Chair, sorry, yeah. Thank you, Chair.
Forget about honorable members.
Yeah, no, thank you, Chair. I think the message is clear.
Address the chairperson.
Yeah. There was a question here which I'm going to pose to you. Have you ever spoken to General Mkwakwanazi before the 6th or after the 6th?
Yes, I've spoken to General Mkwakwanazi like all other 9 provincial commissioners, the DNCs, the divisional commissioners, including the national commissioner himself.
Yeah, I'm talking about regarding the matter of the PKTT. Have you ever spoken to him about that?
No.
After the 6th, you never spoken to him?
No.
Because he mentioned that there was a minister, a deputy minister, but he didn't mention who, whether it's you or it's he never said Dr. Boshielo or Deputy Minister Matale. So you say it was not you?
You were not here. We discussed the issue. It was me, and we finished the issue.
Yeah, maybe I was not in here.
Yes, but we were not in, but,
yeah,
the SC asked me at length what happened and then how, and then responded and everything. Unless if you want me to start from scratch.
No, maybe to summarize, what was to discuss between you and General Mkwakwanazi?
We normally discuss work, and we also took pictures. You can't believe. One, I went to Ulundi for the pass out of students there, and then with Dr. Libya when he was still in the DPCI, and then he was the host. And then you know how we do the pass out parade. You go together, with them and everything. I could say that everything was organized perfectly and well and worked very well. Also, we went there when we were launching our national safety plan that we are implementing now in all the provinces, and then we were warmly welcomed by him. But also, as we meet in the MINMEC and also board of committees meeting, so we'll have a chat. And I must say, that guy is very brilliant. The way we exchange issues and ideas, I think it's very good.
Let me touch the issue of the Constitution, because you have touched it now. When you say it's a prerogative right of the president to appoint whoever he wants to appoint, or if she was a she had all the right to appoint whatever she wants to appoint as president, because the Constitution allows him or her to do that. Am I right?
To appoint the president?
No, I'm saying the president. He has a right to appoint whoever he wants. Am I right? As a deputy minister, as a minister as well.
Yes, sir.
But you know that in this country we have a case where some of people make a joke to say there was a 3-day minister. That right was not implemented. We are aware of that. The president has appointed someone, and there was an outcry within or whatever, but that right was suspended, temporarily suspended. Then there was another minister within 3 or 4 days. Am I right?
Yes, I'm aware. Remember, honorable member, this is my 3rd term as a member of parliament. Yes, I was there. The president had the right to appoint whoever he wanted to, which he did appoint that minister. And I don't know what changed his mind, but he still have the right to dismiss. If you look at the constitution, it even give him the right to appoint, but also give him the right to dismiss. So I don't see anything wrong with what the president did.
No, there was something wrong. It was not the wish of the president. It was not the wish of the president, remember. But let's pass that. But I just wanted to narrate on that it's not a cast in a stone because it's in a constitution, therefore. And the issue that you did not approach the president, that you should be the one who's appointed to the minister of police. I understand that. But why we said that, as Umkhonto we said that when Puti Manamela was promoted, we thought it would have been proper, though we can't dictate to the president. But no, wait.
Maybe, Chair.
Wait.
Can I ask something?
Yes.
Before you continue, Chair? Maybe for your protection, is it the Ad-hoc committee or is it MKP that you are answering to?
Honorable Deputy Minister, what is the question?
Is it answer in terms of the MKP or the Ad-hoc committee? Because the honorable member who's asking me say, in terms of Umkhonto we Sizwe party.
No, I didn't say so, Minister.
You did.
No, I said as Umkhonto we Sizwe. The question was.
Okay, let's do this.
Yeah.
May you please restate your question so that we don't have delays.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Let me say this.
The question that you asked is cancelled. We give you.
I want to be consistent as well, Chair, because Sangweni said the ANC.
Honorable Sangoni.
Honorable Sangweni, yes. But that is main.
Sangoni.
Sangoni. And the Deputy Minister did not reject that. But be that as it may, let's pass that. I'm not going to be petty, Chair. Let's pass that. But I'm just saying that.
I can clarify, Chair. I'm allowed.
No. I said the question is cancelled. So
yeah, okay.
We start on a clean slate. Let's allow him to
now
forget that question because it may distract your chain of thought.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Now, we know now, as we sit here, that we have a problem in the South African Police Service, especially in the top management. As we sit here, things are happening. We have acting DNCs, if I'm right. In your view, is that the way how we should run the department?
You can just elaborate a little bit about the acting DNC.
What I'm saying, we have deputy national commissioners. 2 of them are acting. Is that a proper for the department of that magnitude to have this crisis which we have? Unless the deputy minister say there's no crisis. In my view, I think we have a crisis in the department.
I respect your view, but I'm saying, no, it is not desirable. Actually, I said it, that our systems should be able to say, Boshielo, in 6 months' time, you'll be 60 because their retirement is 60, and then you'll be out of the system. Then automatically, a process must kick in where you want a person who's going to replace Boshielo when he leave on the 31st, Boshielo will start on the 1st. So there should not be any vacancy if the posts are budgeted for and they have the budget.
Now, the most let me rephrase it like this. We are sitting here because of what General Mkhwanazi has alerted the country about what is happening in the police service. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
You know, it's in fact, I must say this, that perhaps in the future of what exactly is happening here, we must try to avoid and you know, the issue of the participation in this Ad-hoc committee, because some of us, as we worked, you know, in the portfolio committee, we know exactly what happened because we started in the beginning with you. So we know exactly what is happening, what are your challenges as well. And remember, we want to help. We don't just come in here and want to criticize. We want to help because this affects, you know, the crime in this country. You know, we've got drug problems in this country. We've got killings as we sit here. You know, Honorable James already said that in Rekhere Park, I think yesterday, 6 people were gunned down. In Cape Town, it's like a song. And we know that we won't be able to have policemen and women in each and every street in this country. We know that we still have vacancies as well, which have to be filled, both in the detective service and in other criminal intelligence, VISP, and others. In your view, what do you think should happen going forward, just to make sure that the integrity of the police service is maintained? And we have the confidence of even internationally as well, because as we sit here, our image is battered.
Very much, Honorable Member. If I can take you to number 48, where I said the work of this ad hoc committee must lead to the subs that is not only effective, but is trusted. Based on the evidence that have been presented before you by the Minister, the National Commissioner, the DNC, and the Provincial Commissioner, I believe that trust will be built on 3 pillars. The first one, the pillar of lawful process. Second one, the pillar of internal accountability. And the third one, the pillar of external oversight.
You know, my only worry, DM, is that the minister, it looks like he was working on silos. The issue of the IMC, that if I heard you well, he never discussed anything with you that this PKT team, it was not only for our department, you know, the police department. There was other ministerial, I'll put it like that, to say there were other ministers as well. But as well, they were not consulted. Am I right? We know now, yes.
The minister was here. You asked the question, yes, and he responded.
So, no, what I want to find out from you, that he never discussed anything with you when it comes to PKTT.
PKTT or the IMC?
No, the PKTT. I'm talking about the PKTT before I go to the IMC.
Yes. As I said, we did not discuss it. We discussed it when we were doing the organogram.
Yes.
And then the organizational structure. And then on the 5th of March, when we went to the portfolio that we're in, remember it was on the program.
Yes.
The 3, the crime intelligence report, the KPTT, and also what Lieutenant Mkhwanazi said on Police Day, 2025 Police Day. So that's when I then realized what is it all about, the background, its successes, and everything. Thank you.
Yeah, why I'm asking that, DM, is that if I heard you well earlier, you said, you know, you were in the border, you were deployed in Northern Cape, Northwest, and Limpopo. Then you were doing some in the border. When you came back, you know, you bought some fireworks, you know, and of some kind. And you were shocked. You thought it's a fake, am I right? If I remember well. You thought that letter was a fake because social media, there's a lot of fake news anyway nowadays. But you were shocked that it was real, that the letter was issued by the minister. I'm not sure whether, perhaps it's not like, I think consultation as well, as I work with my colleagues. Obviously, if I have to issue a serious matter like that, I mean, the respect which was supposed to be confined to you between yourself and the other deputy by the minister was essential in this matter. Do you agree on that?
Just want to go straight to that question, as you said. And then we said, I said, is it?
I think you want number 46, where you said this meeting allowed me. I'm not sure.
When
maybe
you phoned me, 46.
Page 17.
No, it's conclusion, page 17. There's somewhere where I was asked. Remember, we asked these questions. It will be a topic so that I'm accurate and not wish. Oh, it is number 11, page 11. I said, like you said, that I became aware of the letter and then thought it was fake until it was done. If you can go to 27, I said, in my view, respective view, not anybody's view, whether right or what, I believe that the letter could have been handled differently because of its sensitivity. Consultation with relevant stakeholders could have been preceded the writing of the letter. The gap created by the lack of reasonable and adequate consultation gave the opportunity for the controversy for this controversy to erupt. And I think there's one honorable member who asked me, what do I mean by relevant stakeholders? And then I listed them.
Yeah, and quite frankly, it was really distasteful to say the least that Brown Mokgotsi knew so many things which are happening in the department which you were not privy to. Am I right?
Actually, I don't even know Brown Mokgotsi.
I remember you said that, but what I'm saying, we are concerned that the matters which were supposed to be known by the two DMs was the person who was privy to the information. Why is the minister was your colleague? You didn't know about that, but Brown Mokgotsi knew about these issues. Some other issues of the department.
I think that's what maybe at the end of this process, you would have the evidence. For sure, you'll call him to come and answer for himself too. You can't take one side of the story. And then after you have that, maybe when you come to that conclusion, you'll be able to give us the report. Thank you.
Yeah, in fact, Chair, why I'm saying all this is because the DM says this on number 4, page 17, number 46, this meeting allowed me to have an understanding of the operations of the PKTT because I had not been privy to its operations and reports. So, in other words, there were a lot of issues which were happening which we were not privy to. Am I right?
Yes, remember we just came in.
Yeah, but what I'm trying to say, remember you almost have 12 months, am I right? 13 to 12 months working with the minister.
Yeah, but it's like between, maybe you can count July and December.
Oh, okay. But in your view, when I conclude, or perhaps the question would be that the decision is not yours, that I know. But in your view of whatever happened or what you heard in the Ad-hoc committee at the Madlanga Commission as well, and from the minister when he was sitting with us here, do you think it would be proper for the minister to be, because it's suspended, to be reinstated? I know it's a very difficult question, it depends on the president.
It's not suspended.
It's special leave. Yes. Remember, there was that. We are in court. You must remember that. We are still in court on that matter. That the issue of special leave then changed to, there's another word which they use, SC. There was the issue of special leave. Then there was the issue of, remember, the leave. When you go on special leave, you ask for, am I right?
That is the legal question. I agree. I have 31 qualifications. One of them is not law.
Yeah.
I did not do law. So it will be more
Honorable
on
DM.
people who can interpret the law.
Honorable
And
DM, the time of the honorable member has expired.
I thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much. Can we take Honorable Cameron? Is your hand up, Honorable Matthijs? You are allowed.
How much time would I have? I'm joking.
Honorable Skosana, may you please
Dr.
switch.
DM, we clear about the message that you received and that you were the deputy minister that was part of that message that Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi spoke to us about. You've indicated that you have a good working relationship with him. Did the two of you engage about who this deputy minister is? Because when he came before us, he didn't know who was the deputy minister who was part of the messages that went about.
He did not know. As I've explained to you, when we deal with this issue at this level of the executive, you're not necessarily personal. You get a tape from the DNC, a concerning one, that there's this thing. What you do then, you go to the National Commissioner as the head of the administration and say, Commissioner, there's this thing. And then that's how it came in. So we never discussed this thing.
I wasn't asking in the sense of you reporting to him, but I'm sure you listened to his testimony here, and he said he spoke about a deputy minister that received a message. So I'm talking about after that, did you have an engagement with him?
No, I did not, because he was not addressing me, he was addressing you. And I don't know why he didn't say DM Boshielo.
Okay. So you think he knew?
I don't know. I can't talk.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much, Honorable Sangun.
DM, why do you think General Sibiya sent this message to you, specifically you? Why not the other ANC DM Matale? Why you?
I don't know whether he sent to me only, because as I said, the message were not all only from him. It was forwarded. It's that one that forwarded many times. It's just that for me, it concerned me when he said, I must be careful, they might be backing my phones and emails and what. And then that's when I then said to, we spoke first with the National Commissioner after, and then I said, National Commissioner, I'm surprised. What is this? Then that's what happened. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Sangun. Thank you so much, Honorable Matthijs. Thank you so much, Honorable Deputy Minister. Honorable Cameron, let me set your time. 9 minutes past 4, 29 minutes after 4, your time expires.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair. Let me just sit forward a bit. DM, I'm going to jump straight into it. With regards to a lot of information that has come forward regarding relationships between senior South African Police Service members and the likes of persons like Kat Matlala, etc. Someone like Mr. Matlala, who also seems to have received tenders and so on, like the Medicare 24 contract. I'm going to touch on that again now. From your position in the ministry, did you at any time notice anything strange regarding relationships with a Kat Matlala or a Brown Mokgotsi? I know you've already said today that you don't know them, so I'm not insinuating that. But did you pick up anything strange? If so, what was it? And do you think that their involvement, or what we've heard so far, let's say alleged involvement, in any way influenced disciplinary action against senior members?
Thank you very much, Honorable Chairperson. The first one, as I said, I don't know Ket Matlala, I don't know Brown. I heard them when they were spoken in this ad-hoc committee. Obviously, I went and Googled them and watched what is natural to say what you are dealing with. But in terms of the tender, the minister raised a concern about this tender in December. And I must say, I did not understand because we don't get involved in tenders as deputy ministers or as ministers. It's the accounting office. So I don't know what tender is there or what. So I was surprised when the minister raised a concern about this tender. Then he called a meeting convened by the National Commissioner and people who were dealing with supply chain management and also the CFO. And he then asked them what process did they go through, and he doesn't think it was fairly awarded. And then they must go back and check, and then we'll have another meeting. He gave them, I think, 4 or so days. They went back. When they came back, they then confirmed that they went through the process and these people qualify. Then he insisted that they don't qualify, the tender must be cancelled. And then I remember the administration then raised the question to say, but they are finishing to assess the students that are supposed to go to college in January, so it will disturb them. Can they currently finish the one that were there, and then they will then get into the issue, which he agreed. And then they went and investigated, and the National Commissioner then cancelled the tender. I think when he was in this committee, he even thanked the minister for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Dearman. In terms of your oversight role as a deputy minister, let's say the ministry broadly, do you think that SAPS has adequate mechanisms to detect or prevent outside individuals like Mr. Matlala, even Mr. Magotsi, from exerting influence over procurement, appointments, and investigations? The reason I asked this, so yesterday in the portfolio committee, we had a whole discussion about supply chain. Now, we've mentioned it before in the ad-hoc committee as well, but if you look at the material irregularities that were found by the Auditor General, I think it's a 140% increase from the previous financial year. And I think there's 2.5 billion rands worth of irregular expenditure from previous years that hasn't been recovered yet. What I want to know is are the relevant mechanisms in place? Because the answer that was given by Lieutenant General Fani yesterday, I remember Honorable James started laughing when he answered. He said that unfortunately it sometimes happens that people that are on the bid committees are not competent, but he's the one that chooses them. So my answer to him was, but General, how do you say that? Because it cannot be that for a 360 million rand contract, we don't have someone competent, deciding over that bid. So tell us, what do you think about the mechanisms in place?
I will still repeat again, but also directly answer you that on 443.2, I said the pillar that we need to improve is the pillar of internal accountability. In terms of the internal, the tenders and the supply chain management, one, remember you are dealing with human factors. And then they will always have that temptation to do things that they are not supposed to do. That is why I'm proposing that we digitize or go online so that we are able to trace what is going on and then be able to take irregularities just in time. Secondly, they must be vetted. And maybe I stole somewhere in Polokwane and then I'm now in the police, I'll do the same, and all other things. So I must be thoroughly vetted, especially if I'm going to work with the budget. That's a big budget of the SAPS. You need people who are credible and who will not be influenced by this issue. The third one, I'll still go back to the priorities of this government. The third one, where we want to build a professional, ethical, and democratic public service. So you need people who are ethical and honest in the supply chain management. But also what would help also, I think they must be rotated. You don't put a person there for a long time such that he even know how to circumvent the systems that are there. But I'm also disappointed that the risk management committee did not pick up some of the things that you are saying. I was supposed to be in the meeting, but of course I have to prepare to be here. And the second one, what did the internal audit committee also not pick some of the issues back? So as I'm saying this, these are some of the things that I have noticed them, but because there's this process coming in, we should be able to reset the button with also the recommendation from yourself.
So it's not a question that I wrote down, but when you answered now, you said that we need to make sure that people are vetted, and you said that it was something along the line of we need people with integrity in supply chain, honest people in supply chain. If you look at supply chain at the moment in the police, and the reason why I mentioned supply chain so much in the procurement process is because of the whole Cat Matlala Medicare 24 thing, and it fits in the terms of reference. How would you, from your side, explain the fact that we currently have a divisional commissioner of supply chain management that himself was implicated in a previous SIU investigation? You're aware of the Red Roses company and the PPE and so on. Are you aware of any steps by Minister Nkunu to address that? Because it's one thing to vet the people that we do business with, but it's a problem when the people doing the business aren't vetted either.
Yes, I'm aware about it. He brought it to our attention, and then a meeting was called with the National Commissioner, and the matter is, as you said, is in the report. And the minister raised a concern that why is this person here when there is this thing that have to be there? I'm not sure whether the National Commissioner was able to investigate and give the minister the report, or where is it? But the minister, yes, we picked it up, we discussed it, and rightly so, the minister can investigate it. Is the National Commissioner that was supposed to do that.
Thank you, DM. DM, I've got 2 or 3 last questions. With regards to the Medicare 24 contract, there were obviously a whole lot of serious allegations that came from it. And specifically the irregular procurement process and the relevant costs. And again, you can address it from your point of view in the ministry. When you first became aware of it, I know you said that the minister gave the instruction and so on, but was there anything else that was done to zoom in on this? In other words, to determine who made the choice, who signed on the dotted line for them to come in? Because if I'm not mistaken, and excuse me for asking the other members of the police committee, of whom I only see one here now, 2, is that the Auditor General indicated that the Medicare contract was actually part of this last year's financial year's irregular expenditure. So what I want to understand is that there's someone at the moment, a few people sitting in SAP's management that signed off on it, not having gone through the correct process, as the Auditor General has shown us. What else was done to get to the bottom of this, to address those individuals?
That's what I'm saying. The minister was very particular about this tender, and his belief, and very strongly so, that it was not awarded correctly. And he also demanded that it be cancelled. And then he was able to show why this process was not. Because, as I said, we had a first meeting with the National Commissioner and then with the supply chain people and give them time, because when they responded, like you said, as a normal being, they responded that they went through the processes and they believe that he deserved to be awarded the tender. But the minister was of the view that that was not correct and they should go back and then come back again to assure him that it was done correctly. So when they came back, they still said they went through the process, but the minister could not hear any of it. And then he then said it must be cancelled. That's when they pleaded that they finished the remaining one and it was done. In terms of action taken against these officials that have done this, I've not had a report from the National Commissioner. Thank you.
So I think that's what I was getting at, is that I want to understand who was fired or who is going to be fired. So that's the thing. And we'll ask the same to Acting Minister Kachalia too. But I think that's what we want to get to. We want to see heads roll for that, because that's not a mistake. The Medicare 24, and I think it's important for the record, Chair, especially when it comes to the people from procurement from SAPS, not the ministry so much, is that the Medicare 24 contract wasn't a minor oversight or a mistake. It was blatant corruption. People saw an opportunity to steal money from the state. They pushed it through in order to enrich themselves. It's that simple. So I think by the end of this, even before the ad hoc committee ends, we should have already seen people being fired for stealing tax money. The last two...
Chair,
yes.
Just to also add what you're saying, one of the brigadiers, you know, that is resigned within 24 hours and joined the Medi 24. So, but we'll still follow up in terms of action that need to be taken. That
wasn't a good pension decision for her because the contract ended very quickly. Dear, my last question is with regards to consequence management. In your view, if you had to start a cleaning process of SAP senior management, who would you zoom in on regarding procurement failures? So that's the first part of the question. And if you had to start the lifestyle audit process, who are the, let's say, the 5 individuals that you would kick off with? The reason, and I want to quantify or qualify why I'm saying this, is that I believe that if we want to clean up SAPs, we have to address the integrity issue. So I want to understand from your point of view and the experience you've gained over the past year, where do you think we need to start with that integrity testing process?
I think I've said that one, we need to, according to me, check the qualification if they qualify to also be there. I've talked about the vetting. The lifestyle audit also might come in to understand what is going on. Appoint people that are able to do their work and have integrity or any other thing. Where I am, Chair, I must be honest to you, I'm not able to point to say where Boshielo, Honorable Cameroon, and what they should be out, and then thereafter the system will be foolproof. I'll be telling lies. I think we need to explore also what other organizations are doing to improve their SCM and all others, and then come out with what will work for SAPS. So I think that's what I would do. Thank you.
Thank you, DM. Chair, just a closing comment. I think we have to try and find some kind of a way, I'm not sure how yet, to quantify the losses that we've seen. So yesterday, the comparison that we made from the Auditor General report Honorable James was speaking about the scanners. I think Honorable Matthys at some stage, not yesterday, but previously also spoke about the scanners. There were a few members that spoke about the scanners that needed to scan cargo coming into the country. Now, with 650 million rands worth of irregular expenditure, we could buy more than 20 scanners. And it might be a very simple comparison. There are many other things that are also needed in the police. But I think we need to start understanding that this isn't just money that we just lose along the way. It literally is the difference between success and not. Thank you, Chair. Thank you, DM.
Yeah, I agree with you, Chair. But also, the other issue that me and you knows is that the CI, while it's part of the SAPS, also report to the Joint Standing Committee on Intelligence, and then on other operations that, and counter intelligence and all other things that are not for the public. That is why they report there, So that's why I'm saying we must benchmark with organizations that the same as us, because it's a different thing altogether. But I'm taking your advices with the humility that it deserves. Thank you.
Thank you, DM. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you so much. The two of you, Honorable Cameron and Honorable Boshielo, belong to another committee. When you are here, the chairperson is me.
Chair, I'm very sorry. I apologize.
When you keep on saying chair, I become alive, but I see you are looking at him.
You should have started a point of order, Chair.
I'm so sorry, Chair. I'm so sorry.
No, it's just a light matter.
Correct. You're correct. You are the chair. Yeah.
To worry about. Let's hear Honorable Matthys.
Thank you, Honourable Chair. Just to follow up, on the meeting, you said that the Minister called to get a briefing on the Medicare tender. So it's a bit confusing, Dr. DM, because at one point the ministry doesn't get involved in tenders, and then the Minister is calling for a briefing on how this tender was how it was procured, or how the process that it went through. Was it the only tender that the Minister asked for a briefing on for the accounting officer to explain the process in awarding it?
Yes.
So he gave them 4 days to go. They came back and they still presented that this thing was proper. So during,
yes.
Okay. So what I'm trying to work out is that how did the Minister know that it was done? Because if he's only getting the briefing from the team, right? Did he have other information that you might be aware of? And it's okay if you don't know.
I think so, because he insisted on it being cancelled.
And then did he give evidence, or not evidence, but did he say, no, this was not done procedurally, X, Y, and Z? Or he just said, no, it wasn't done and it needs to be cancelled? And I'm asking this mainly because in this instance, it worked out well for us, right? Because we now know that there was irregular expenditure and the tender was work. The flip side to that is that a minister can also give directives that something can be cancelled that was awarded fairly for other reasons. So I'm just asking, were there actual procedural milestones or blocks, I should say, where he could recognize that, no, this was done wrong, and based on what?
I think he raised it with the National Commissioner as the accounting officer.
But you were part of the meeting.
Yeah, but he did not say, you asked me why did he, the reasons why he did it. But he was very strong in terms of it being cancelled.
But he didn't give reasons why. He was just
gave
saying
it to the National Commissioner.
Oh, not, it wasn't part of you, or not part of that meeting. Okay, that's understood. Thank you. Thank you, dear.
Honorable Skosana, are you fine?
No, Chair, when I raised my hand, I just wanted to say to the DM that our chair is not a chair here today. So you already pick it up. Thank you.
Because the two of you are here, you are intimidating Honorable bangazitha.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson. Good afternoon, Honorable Deputy Minister.
Afternoon, Honorable Mqangu.
Well, a lot of questions actually have already been asked, and you have responded to them. So I honestly am not going to spend time asking you questions that have already been asked. However, I'm interested to know how often did you have meetings with your minister as deputy ministers, something like executive meetings where you would actually get even debriefings from the minister and or the national commissioner?
I think we had meeting, but not necessarily a formal meeting where, you know, it's prepared and then there's an agenda and then you can get a thing or whatever. But what was consistent was the meeting between the ministry and the top management of the department.
In those impromptu meetings, if I may actually describe them like that, the issue of the minister's intention to disband PKTT never arose.
It arose when we were discussing, as I said earlier, maybe because you came a little bit late, when we were discussing the organizational structure, and then it came up and we discussed about it.
Thank you, Deputy Minister. You have already said that the minister had not actually assigned any roles and responsibilities to you, but were you able to inform the president who had actually appointed you that, look, Mr. President, you have appointed us, but we still have no roles and responsibilities, and therefore we would not be able to actually report on our performance because we have yet to be assigned any roles?
As I answered earlier, we raised the issue with the minister himself. So we have not reached a point where we had to really go to the president and raise the issue. Thank you.
Honorable Deputy Minister, you obviously you may have seen now the content of the directive, the letter of the 31st of December. I don't want to ask your impressions about the directive because you have already stated that in the evidence that you have presented. But I'm interested to just suss your brains on the issue of the use of the term immediately. What is your view on that? What does it mean to you? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member. I'm just laughing because English is my fourth language. It's Spedi, Tsonga, and Shivenda in the English. I might not be able to understand, but from the basic that I know, immediately is now. Now, as I'm talking to you now, if I say stand up immediately, yes. Thank you very much.
Certainly not next week.
Not even after 10 minutes. I said now, and you did. And thank you very much for following the instruction.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Political interference. Would you say that indeed political interference in the operations of the Department of Police?
As I went to length from page 13 on the issue, whether the minister conduct amounted to unlawful interference in a legal issue. It's necessarily a legal issue question which can be explained by our honorable. I know he's going to SC to be able to explain to us, because as I said, I declared that I might be having 31 qualification, but one of it is not being a lawyer. So in terms of the two, when I explain, in terms of the two offices, the executive authority and the accounting officer, there is an interface, they must work together. There is no way in which the accounting officer can work on his own there and the executive can work on this one. This one comes with strategic issues mandate from the cabinet and then from parliament and others. And then this one must be able to implement it. So there's no way they can't interface and do that. So in terms of what I'm saying is that they should have met and discussed the issue. They would have agreed how to go about dealing with the issues rather than immediately. I know you're talking about immediately. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Honorable Minister. In fact, I was asking that question actually because in the directive, the minister had actually instructed the National Commissioner to stop filling vacant posts. In my view, and the view of other people, is that the filling of vacant posts in the Department of Police, it's a matter that actually falls in the hands of the National Commissioner, with, of course, the HR division in the department, certainly not the minister. And secondly, that the minister convened a meeting to discuss a tender and demanded that it be cancelled. And I understand that, and in fact you said it, and the other witnesses actually have said that ministers actually have no role in the issuance of the tenders and so on. But here Minister Mchunu convenes a meeting specifically to instruct, not to ask for information, but to instruct that the tender be cancelled. Is that not interference?
Thank you very much. Let me start with your vacant post. In terms of the rest of the letter, you can go to page 16 on 4.2. Then said the minister halted the filling of post immediately until substantive discussion between himself and National Commissioner takes place. According to me, in my own view, the minister should have provided reason to the National Commissioner on why the process have to be halted, and I think they would have come to a reason why and then understood. The other one, you did not mention it, but it's the port of entry. In terms of the port of entry, to be fair, because you don't just criticize, in relation to this matter, the minister's directive were very reasonable because he wanted the report at the end of the month, which is January 2025. So it gave the National Commissioner enough time to prepare for the report, but also the concerns that the minister had was able to do that. So that one I think I've done. In terms of the tender, I said it here, that he was adamant. He called a meeting, and then with the SCM, the National Commissioner, the SCM, the CFO, they explained, he insisted, and then they said, no, according to them, they went through the process. He deserved to be awarded the 2024, then too. And then he sent them back. After 4 days, they came back and still presented that they took the correct information and what. But he still insisted that tender must be cancelled. So I would not know, as I think Honorable Mateis also asked the same questions. I think he had his own reason, maybe why he wanted it to be done, but the principles still stand. I don't even know what tenders are there in the police service because that's not my responsibility and duty.
You want to allow him to ask on your behalf?
Or me?
No. He wants to make a follow-up. Let's allow him to come in. Honorable Nombal.
Yeah, no, thank you, Chair. The information that was brought before this committee is that there was an instruction by the minister to the National Commissioner in relation to the tender to appoint the internal audit. And then the tender was cancelled as a result of findings and recommendations that were made by the internal audit. Are you aware of that?
I think I answered that he had that conversation with the National Commissioner, and I think they dealt with the matter. And then the National Commissioner told this committee that he cancelled the tender and thanked the minister very much for bringing to it attention.
Yeah, no, because what I wanted to establish was a cancellation as a result of the influence by the audit report, or it was a unilateral decision taken by the minister after considering all the concerns that were surrounding the contract.
That's what I'm saying. When they agreed with the National Commissioner, maybe they agreed on that process, because if the tender was actually cancelled after 4 or 5 months, not immediately. No, rules cancelled immediately. It was after 5 months. So they agreed on that process that we're talking about.
Honorable TM, there is a worrying coincidence here. Things are happening in December. The meeting that cancels the tender is in December. The letter that disbands PKTT is in December. The meeting between Mr. Matlala and the former minister, Shela, is on the 6th of December. At that meeting, Mr. Matlala informs the former minister, Mr. Shela, that he has actually been awarded a tender of 350 or 360 million rand, and that there are strings attached to that tender, namely that he is expected to finance the campaign activities of a particular candidate to the presidency of a particular party, and that he was expressly told not to ever talk to Mr. Shela and Mr. Zuma too. Then it would appear that the information actually leaked, that indeed Mr. Matlala and Mr. Shela had met. And that must have actually infuriated certain quarters. And then decided to wield an axe to stop at all costs this tender, because the conditions have actually been violated. Shela had been met. And that might actually precipitated that meeting you attended and the directive on the 31st of of December. What would you say to a person who actually joins the dots like that?
I don't know these things that we're talking about. Who met Mang and Man? I don't know them. But just to correct that, the letter was on the 31st of December, but the tender one was in January. So is the letter first that came first before the tender one. But what I know as a matter of fact is that the tender was awarded in June before we assume office on the 2nd of July. And by that time, the minister was still Minister Cele. That's all I know. Other characters, where they met, who whipped what, presidency, I don't know.
Okay, it's on record here. You will have sight of that because it was said here under oath. Honorable Deputy Minister, your views on the operations of the PKTT. Did they actually do a good job in your view? You must have read the reports and seen reports. In your view, did they do a good job?
I'm just talking about the report that I found or was presented on the 5th of March, where they gave a background, why it was formed, when the president went there and the late Kunu was killed and everything. And then the cases that they dealt with, the successes that was there, and the budget and all other things. Just looking at that document only, not being informed by anything or any influence, I think there was some sort of success in terms of doing their work.
But would you then, on the basis of that report, say that the reasons for its disbandment, which were advanced in the directive, were plausible?
I think I've said in my statement, if you've seen, I just want to use the correct word I said. That actually what I said, just that I don't say it here, I said it was practically impossible for the PKTT to be disbanded at that time on the 31st of December, but I wanted to use the correct word that I... 11.
Pangazita.
Honorable Chairperson,
What is
I'm aware that I'm left with 2 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, but in short, I'm trying to say, because I don't want to contradict myself, I just wanted to give you the correct one, because it seems when I was on it, you were not yet here. But I was, oh yeah, there it is, number 35. I said, in essence, my view is that a consultative process would have provided comprehensive ground on which the minister could confirm his disbandment decision. The instruction to immediately disband the BKTT posed serious risk of impossibility of implementation. That is the word I was looking for. And then the report on which a disbandment decision could be taken would have possibly contained the status of the investigations and operations, the impact of the disbandment on these operations, and the general assessment of whether the PKTT is still serving the purpose. Thank you.
Well, my last question actually has to do with your conclusion, Honorable Deputy Minister. I'm not sure whether it is going to be a question, but I'm very impressed with your paragraph 47 in your conclusion, where you are actually saying that it is essential to reinforce and rebuild trust in the South African Police Service. And then you get to the nub of the issue. You say it begins with integrity, accountability, principled leadership. I'm interested in the principled leadership. Can you unpack that for me?
Thank you very much. As I was talking about the principal leadership throughout the day, it's like 1, working together as a team. 2, where there's a problem, you are able to deal with it immediately and provide solution. Where you see things are not working out, like I said, we could see there was some gap between the national commissioner and the minister. We're able to call them and tell them, fix this because it's going to affect us. So those are principled one, not necessarily on whose side you are taking and whose side you are not taking.
Thank
Just
you,
that we don't
Honorable.
have time, I would have taken.
Thank you so much, honorable members.
Thank you, Honorable Deputy Minister. Thank you, Chair.
Stop speaking, all of you. Your time has ended. Follow-up questions, Honorable Skosana, Honorable Matthews.
Thank you, Chair. DM, when I was asking, I think maybe I've omitted that. I just wanted to find out whether the Department of Planning and Monitoring have indeed you consulted, or perhaps raised issues, especially when what you told us that there was no delegation of powers. They were aware of that because I believe that department is responsible as well to make sure that everything works well. All the departments in particular, were they aware of what was happening between you? Yeah, thank you.
Is it directly related to the questions that
Yes.
Bangazita was raising? Okay.
Honestly, I would not be able to answer that one on behalf of other department.
No, I'm not saying on the other department. I'm just saying that because the Department of Planning and Monitoring, what the president has said is that all the departments, there will be evaluations of everybody. Forget the lifestyle audit. What I'm saying, they were aware of that you have a problem, not that we're not working. I think let's put that aside. The issue that they were in consultation, perhaps you've been ever consulted or felt perhaps you have done better by going to them to say, we are stuck here. No, not necessarily the president. I'm talking about that department because that's their responsibility.
I did not know about that responsibility and that instruction.
No, thank you.
Honorable Matthews.
Thank you, Chair. Mine's not really a question, but just for our evidence leaders to please follow up with the National Commissioner. I don't recall us getting a copy of the report of the investigation that led to the cancelling of the tender. And just for clarity, we are not saying that we support or we don't support the cancelling of the tender. The issue here is that whether it was done, was there political interference, and how the matter went. So we must get the report and also who were the investigators that investigated the tender that led to it being cancelled. But to be clear,
okay,
we are glad that it was cancelled. We just want to know if it was done properly. Thank you.
Thank you. SC, do you have any further question to ask? I'm checking, all the speakers my speakers list is exhausted. I'm checking if you have any question to ask the Honorable Deputy Minister.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Just to continue, Honorable Deputy Minister, the fish and pond and sea analogy. It seems to me that you're a very small fish in a huge pond. And what your I want to thank you as the team of evidence leaders for your cooperation and for your evidence here today and your insights. I think the tendency is to say, no, you hear Katmatlala, you hear about Braan Mogotsi in this thing. But this is much, even though there are millions and millions, hundreds of millions of rand involved, it's much bigger than that. That's what we've heard from the Portfolio Committee. Over a period of so many billions of rands that's been lost, stolen, leaked, and misappropriated. So, firstly, we're talking about a huge department, maybe the biggest in government. It's difficult to know where to start. This rot that we now know that has manifested. Is it the whole appointments procedure, the appointment of ministers, the appointment of deputy ministers, the allocation of functions to you? It's, for example, you may have been appointed, no one would have had a problem with the allocation of powers and functions, but you may have been appointed allocations, tasks and powers that is completely innocuous and that would have had no effect on what had happened. That could have been done deliberately, intentionally, by design, or accidentally. We don't know. Or is it the appointment of the most senior management, the National Commissioner, Deputy Commissioners, divisional heads, some by the President, others by the Minister, the procurement, of course. Can you be held accountable for the appointment of an evaluation bid committee, the adjudication committee, and then the authority who finally signs off on the big the procurement? The organizational design. Your evidence here today was, and that's important. It's not useless evidence, that you weren't even aware of the PKTT until, I think you said, firstly it was in a letter, and then you became more aware of it on the 5th of March when you went to Parliament, and like many of us just heard the presentation there. Issues of crime intelligence. It's just way above your head. Then there's oversight here in Parliament itself. Is that effective? Or is it often the case that it's too late? The horse is already bolted. The infiltration in all these other sections of the police departments has already taken place. And by the time we come here, the best we can do, if at all, is some damage control. So then there's the difficult question which you tried your best to avoid because you're not a lawyer, but there's the issues of executive authority and operational management. Is that line, is there a bright line, or is there some vague area where ministers, deputy ministers should still assume some control? But obviously, people who are honest and who are committed to cleaning up the process. So there's the issue of competence and whether people are qualified to hold certain positions, and vetting processes. Are people just being appointed, and the next thing you hear, no, but actually they've got some hidden or dark past, and they should not have been appointed. So, thank you, Chair. Deputy Ministers, a bit of a speech, but I just thought I'd summarize my own thoughts in view of your evidence today, and we'll take it further tomorrow with the acting minister. Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Chair. Oh,
Honorable
Yes,
Souls.
Thank you, Chair. I wanted to do this privately, Deputy Minister, but upon reflection, I think it's best I do it publicly. Thank you for being a black female South African with such academic prowess, representing yourself in the way that you do. Thank you that we can say you are there on merit and your qualifications is not fake. You are a legitimate doctorate holder. And so you must be the face of what this country has fought for. Black, female, South African academic of your caliber. Thank you.
I'm humbled.
Honorable Skosana.
Thank you, Chair. I think Honorable Souls wanted to say that you should be the minister, but he wanted to go around. Thank you, Chair.
Is there any other honorable member who still wants to give Dr. Boshielo accolades? Yes. You endorse what he said. A black.
No, Chairperson, for the record, the MK does not speak for the Patriotic Alliance.
He says an African female from one of the most rural provinces of the Republic with a doctoral degree accompanied by 30 other qualifications, and not from one institution, from many institutions. This is what we have been saying, Honorable Boshielo, about the two female advocates that work with the senior counsel. That from the progressive perspective, it's very encouraging to see young African females defying the odds, rising against adversity, to raise their hands to be counted amongst the best. I know when you were the MEC of Education in Limpopo, you used to call yourself Deputy Mother because you were acting in loco parentis on behalf of the parents who have left their children under your supervision. And what the honorable members are saying here is that you must continue and live to be the inspiration that you are. When you come here, the SC announces to South Africans that you are a doctor with 30 other qualifications. It lives up to our mission in the National Development Plan when we say we want to build a global citizen. But you know, the cherry on top is when you say your doctoral degree is on technology, which is the economy we live today. And Honorable Sangon is going to agree with me 120%. When we think about technology, in fact, you must inspire many other South Africans to say, when we think about technology, we must run like Usain Bolt on the tracks. We must run like our own Akani Simpini on the tracks when technology comes to mind, because technology is the world we live today. And it comes in paradigms. All the time is going to be with us, and that is why now we talk about the fourth industrial revolution. I have heard others talking about the fifth industrial revolution. Academically, I don't know if the fifth industrial revolution is already there, but anything is possible with technology. And for that, we want to thank you so much. It will not be fair. I mean, honorable members have given you accolades here and that. You are the first female witness to appear before us. It will only be fair on my part and living up to my reputation as the benevolent chair. Not the Beni chair, the benevolent chair. To give you a chance to say something, if there is anything that you would like to say.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. I'm actually trembling and because I'm being humbled to appear before the committee. The support, I must say, that have been given by the senior counsel and his colleagues, and also the members, when they were asking questions, they were direct and not personal. But also, I learned a lot from what they were saying. The calmness that was asked, you could see it was in good spirit. And I'm more than prepared and now energized to even do my best so that we can get this organization to be right. And also with Mr. Cameroon, I know you warned me, and Mr. Honorable Skozana and Honorable Cameroon, I really, really appreciate all of you. Honorable Sol, I don't want to cry. I honestly don't want to cry. But you really humbled me. You really humbled me, because that's what we want to show, that as Black or African women, we are able and capable. Because others will think we got positions because of the favor or because we slept with somebody or whatever. But your observation today is what I wanted to portray to everybody today. So thank you very much, and really, really make me want to cry. And Chairperson, thanks very much for your fairness and you know how you conducted this. And Honorable Mateis, and Honorable Sangoni, all of you, I'm grateful and I'm humbled. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, honorable members. Let me make this announcement. First of all, I must congratulate you for the manner in which you did your business today. And I always say that it is the quality of interactions in a team that wins games. And I now see that we have become a goal-scoring machine. Thank you so much for your conduct and the manner in which we do our work. Always very agile and incisive. SC, thank you so much for today's business. And the Honorable Deputy Minister, we want to thank you. The ever-working staff of Parliament, thank you so much for the exercise that we have embarked upon. Is innovating, is energy-sapping. But you always appear indefatigable. So we want to thank you so much for that. And the members of the media who are with us here this week, tomorrow, is Honorable Minister, Acting Minister Kachalia. And then we have IDEC on Thursday and Friday. We are going to start at 10 o'clock tomorrow. 10 o'clock. Are we fine? 10 o'clock. Okay. let's be here at 10. The meeting stands adjourned. Thank you so much.